Yo, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's your boy Trevor David Climate back up at it. And as you can see here, we have the Realistick Aptera interview pulled up. Now, I recently got put on to Realistick while learning more about Aptera. He's a car reviewer, video maker named Tyler Parker. Seems like a good dude, well-spoken, very interested in vehicles and automobiles. So I'm excited to see this interview. Before we jump in, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, this is 40 minutes long, so let's get into it.
If the Aptera, a three-wheeled electric solar vehicle, is to be a daily commuter that real people spend their real money on, there are many questions to be asked. Not just about the vehicle itself, but also the company behind it.
Yeah.
Today, we'll get some answers. Before we get into the details,
not the answers.
Let's talk about the basics. So this is going to be designed from the ground up.
I love this vehicle, man. It's great.
As possible,
it's great.
And also to be as green as possible.
Yeah.
That's why it looks the way it does. And that's also why it has solar panels covering basically every surface that the sun is going to touch on the top.
Yes.
As for the results of this design, here are the target specs.
It's going to allow for up to 40 miles of electric driving off the sun's power alone.
Insane.
At launch, the range is going to be 400 miles. They're going to offer variants that could reach 1,000, and as well as some that
1,000
are
miles?
budget-friendly.
Shout out Vanessa Carlton.
Miles. It's going to seat 2 people, and it's going to drive the front wheels via an electric motor. The launch spec, like you see here, will be 40 grand in the US. To help us get into the details,
that's a pretty good deal, honestly.
One of the CEOs of Aptera with me, Steve.
Hey, Tyler, nice to meet you.
Steve Pembro.
The first thing that I want to talk about is the production timeline. We saw this released back in 2019. It was resurrected, and the initial timeline was
back
2022.
From the dead.
And then it felt like we had annual delays since then. Why is that?
GTA 6.
We certainly do suffer maybe from excessive optimism sometimes. I think
That's good.
a lot
That's
of
a good
entrepreneurs do. You know, facing the challenges that we did back during the time of COVID, raising money and et cetera, things just took longer. However, we are happy to stand behind this product and to have taken the time that we have
to
make
great.
This product. I think it's superior to anything else that we've ever talked about or thought or we're working on. Think people will get in it and drive it and think, man, this is worth the wait. So I think at the end of this year, end of 2026, we plan to ship the first vehicles to paying customers.
For the 2026 end of year release, you've recently gone public as a company. Do you guys think that you'll have the funding currently secured to make that happen?
I don't know that any vehicle company at any one time has all of the funding in place to do their plan. Every one of them, even the ones with billions of dollars
a good point,
in the bank, are always raising money or pursuing deals that are getting other companies to invest in them. So we're no different in that regard. We have more than enough money to do what we need to do for our time horizon. But we'll always be raising money to, to get to different stages up until there's new models and new growth and everything like that.
Improve the product. Okay. So you're currently optimistic, but also you have things set in place to hit that 2026 end of year.
Yes, I mean, there are milestones that we are working to achieve to do that.
Awesome to hear. Now I want to talk about the car because that's really what I came here for. So the body, let's start at that. It's shaped this way and it has 3 wheels so that it can achieve unheard of efficiency levels. I think last time I heard you speak, you were talking in Las Vegas and you said it was hitting 110 watt hours per mile.
That's good.
Current efficiency goal, is that what you're targeting?
Our target is 100. I think maybe in the Las Vegas trip when we were doing the ride and drive, we were averaging
very
110 around town. That was probably lower speeds and very flat.
Gotcha.
We also had a lot of solar too from the buildings and the sun there. But our target is 100. That's what we've been designing for. That's what we're working towards. And we've shared some public information in the past, like from a road trip. But in terms of exact final numbers, those aren't going to be released until later this year.
Gotcha. Okay. And so if we're assuming that 100 watt hour goal is met, you're looking at a range of 400 miles?
About 400 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a 43 kilowatt hour pack.
Okay.
42 may be usable, and so 400 should be obtainable with that 100 watt-hour per mile goal.
Yes.
Okay. And later down the road, you're looking at other battery size options. We're talking 100.
Yeah, so there's this is a 21770, 21700 as they call it cell. There's newer cells that are larger, and that changes the energy footprint that we can pack in there. So we've ideated up to 98, 99 kilowatt hour battery pack with some of these newer cell types. But I think two of the options, the current one and up to maybe 60 kilowatts or 600 mile, we can get with the current 2100 cell technology.
Okay, nice. And so remind me the charging then. Fast charging, is that available on this?
It will have DC fast charging. Initially, it's probably what we've said before publicly. It's going to be limited to around 1C rate, which is around 40 kilowatts, so the capacity of the pack. But it is a very small battery pack. So you can charge it overnight with a 110 cord in your wall outlet.
Excuse me?
150 miles.
See, that's crazy.
Plus, like right now.
It's good though.
Okay, so for road trips then, I guess we don't have information on a charging curve yet, but if someone was to go from 10 to 80%, roughly how many minutes do you think we would be looking
The reason
at?
I don't want to give that number
Just
is
you don't want to set
the
expectations.
numbers live forever, and
Right.
I want to make sure we've characterized a fast charging curve. This vehicle doesn't have fast charging at the moment, and I just don't want to represent anything that we haven't tested.
Okay, so
I mean, plugging it
let's
into the
talk
wall
about
seems
battery
fast
hardware
enough.
then a
Like,
little
that's pretty
bit.
good.
The cooling system, is it a liquid cooled battery?
Yes,
awesome.
I think we've shown publicly before that this liquid cooling system, thermal management, can both heat or cool a battery. In our case, it's a little bit inverted of a typical electric vehicle. We're not trying to cool them as much as we are maybe trying to heat them on most occasions. There's an optimum temperature for the batteries, and that temperature is typically higher than the ambient temperature here in San Diego.
Interesting.
Most vehicles
very
are working
interesting.
to get that heat out of the battery pack because the vehicle's working hard, but our battery pack doesn't generate those levels of heat. It can in certain cases, and that's why it's got liquid cooling,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it won't have to be used.
Okay, that's good to hear. So is there a heat pump in this then?
No, unfortunately, this is traditional vapor phase compression.
Okay.
So it's a system that runs the air conditioner. So it
That seems good. That seems
the
fine.
coolant loop taps off of that chilled line, and that's what cools the cabin and also cools the battery pack.
Okay. And this moving past the battery, let's talk about the motor, because you guys had changed from the hub motors to the Vitesco, or I guess Schaefer.
Was Continental, then Vitesco, now Schaeffler.
So that front wheel drive motor now.
Looks good, man. Looks good.
How does that affect efficiency?
It's a great question. This system is it's a fantastic motor. I think we've said before that it is a little oversized for our vehicle. This is a 150 kilowatt motor on a very lightweight vehicle.
Man,
200 horsepower,
let's go.
roughly?
Yeah, around that.
Okay.
But gobs of torque. So
Of course, it's electric.
but
Yeah,
efficiency isn't just the motor. I mean, this motor is as efficient as most of these electric vehicle motors that are out there. But for us, efficiency is a layer cake. It's not just a powertrain. It's the lightweight.
Yes,
the
it's
trim.
it's
on
multiple
the body
things.
to make
Yeah.
sure that we don't
Yeah.
have excessive drag.
Yeah.
It's the overall shape. So motor efficiency is one part of that. And I would say this motor is probably on par with most of the other motors that are out there.
Okay, and you were also eyeing a 2-speed recently. I was talking with Chris, and he was saying that might not be a production
The
thing.
gears?
Chris is right. It won't be something that we lead with in production, but we've been we've been public about our interest and work with that company. And so I'm very hopeful what that can bring.
And I'm also thinking you had said with the in-hub motors you'd have torque vectoring. This open differential?
This is a open differential, yes. So we can't natively do torque vectoring without adding other things, which you don't plan on adding right now.
Okay.
So I would say that's something to be pushed towards future models where we have that capability, but right now we don't.
I want to talk a little bit about the body now. So this is a composite material. What exactly was it again?
First, there's carbon fiber SMC. This forms a majority of the windshield mount, the tub, the roof structure, the roof roll bar structure.
Great material, very light,
Fiberglass
very
SMC,
powerful.
which form the sides and other pieces that are less structural. And then sandwiched in between both of those is a complete metal roll cage and metal circuit that goes through the door beams, the hinges, up the A-pillar and around. So you have a metal roll cage inside a carbon and fiberglass structure.
Yes.
You have aluminum castings, major castings in the front and the rear, and two very large longitudinal members, extrusions that connect them. So when this system is tested and simulated for resonant frequency and other measures of strength, let's say, it is modeled as a system, both with the composite parts and the aluminum parts together.
Yes.
So all together as a system, it's very robust, very strong, very lightweight.
Nice. And you guys were targeting like 2,200 pounds, just around about under 2,500 pounds?
Yeah, that's around the target, and that's going to be a function of a couple of different things, you know, depending upon seat materials and maybe parts that we want to change to fiberglass or not, you know, for cost reasons. So we still haven't zeroed in on that number for the final production.
Yeah. Still roughly a Miata weight, which is very impressive to see from an EV. And these wheel covers as well. I had a couple questions about the design, because for someone who is from the Midwest, I have had many a pothole do me harm. This design here, how does it handle, like if for instance the wheel drops and you hit, is there any protection for this?
Yes and no. So we have deliberated within the company from a design perspective early on how much of this should be thought of as a consumable versus how much is fixed to the vehicle. And invariably, you know, any part of a vehicle, especially the wheels, you look at any of the rims here and any of the nicest cars and they'll be scratched.
Yeah.
So we've tried to attend to that by making compliant features like rubber in the front and the rear, areas where our data show that you might have a higher propensity to scrape when you're turning in a ramp or something like that.
Nice.
They're designed to be easily replaceable. They may change shape, maybe more of the pant, maybe that. So the pant is still, you know, still has to go through whole vehicle validation and durability and life cycle testing. But it's designed to be incredibly lightweight, strong, able to resist all the G-force loads that the wheel goes through, and still, you know, with its lights and everything else, survive. It's pretty easy to replace. I've taken them off in just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So.
And I guess a similar question for durability with the solar panels. So you have solar here on the
Oh, you know those are good. You know those are durable.
Yes.
Don't worry about
it's going to
that.
be standard with the launch.
And the
spec.
dash. Yes.
And the dashboard,
4 panels.
yes. So the exterior panels, they are covered in a glass, correct?
Yes. They
Rock
are.
trips and hail, how does it handle that?
So we have our own hail testing machine inside.
They got that advanced glass. Trust me, this is real glass.
Sort of solar industry panel test for longevity. So
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
They show longevity by doing accelerated life with like really high intensity UV. They simulate so many years in a couple of days or weeks. They have the hail test.
Drink coffee, by the way.
Ice gun. They have thermal chambers, so they've done all of the standard tests plus the Aptera specific test to convince ourselves that this is reliable enough to put on a motor vehicle.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The panels themselves are made, they're not so much covered in glass as they are made with that glass, and they are easily replaceable. This hood has 2 bolts that basically, when you unlatch it, I think there's a wire connector to disconnect and 2 bolts to remove, and the hood can unbolt and you can bolt on a new one. The roof is a little bit more involved. Right now, it's tantamount to changing a windshield, but it is designed to be
actually a lot of work. Side note,
unbolted and released.
Yeah.
And same with the deck lid. It is designed to be quickly unbolted and released and replaced.
Nice.
Okay, because you guys have stressed right to repair a lot, which I appreciate hearing, especially when you're having a startup vehicle where you know you're not going to have a huge dealer network to service the vehicle. Things are designed to be easily repaired, yes?
Yes, and there's, although we haven't talked about it and we won't talk about it publicly, our service strategy, there is a team here working on that now. That is their dedicated job.
Okay, awesome to hear.
So.
And I guess on that point, if, for instance, you get a little LA love tap you hit a deer or something. How easy is it to repair?
Hit a
the
deer,
solar panels?
bro?
They
Don't get me started
they're
with
most
that.
likely not repairable. They're replaced.
A deer?
The interesting fact is because of the design of the cell, for the most part, they will continue to produce power. So it'll just be an aesthetic reason that you want to replace it. But it'll still continue to function, even if there's a hole in it. The other panels, most of these are very easy to replace, and these are different kinds of plastic. They're not necessarily fiberglass, so they're somewhat forgiving. And the rest of the vehicle is pretty tough. So, you know, baseballs and shopping carts are probably at most just going to scratch the surface.
Yeah, I mean, it's made of
but
carbon
not really
fiber.
dent or damage
And I
the
think you said
vehicle needing to be
aluminum?
repaired.
Yeah, no.
After my
That's
discussion
strong,
with
bro. That's
Steve, I
legit.
followed up with Aptera about the cost of repair for minor accidents. While I was not told exact prices on how expensive a panel would be to replace,
Yeah, he
they
doesn't-
did
he doesn't
say
know that
the
yet, you know what I mean?
Fiberglass should be easy and cost-effective to repair.
Yeah.
Aptera also said that the cost of a new solar panel should be about as expensive as replacing a windshield. But at least you won't have to paint match.
All right.
And the surface here, I was
Whew,
talking inside.
That's
and
hot. That's
I was
clean.
told that
That's
you
clean,
guys are
man.
not
I got to
painting.
give it to him. That's clean.
It is a wrap on everything, correct?
That's right. The film gives us the different color palette that we want without the environmental constraints of having to set up a paint shop. You may know
Jesus
that's one of the
Christ.
most
Yeah.
expensive parts of setting up any new vehicle assembly plant is the paint shop.
That paint shop ain't for the
And
play,
so we
bro.
decided to forego that and
that's
just
real
go with
technology.
the application of different color film. Have you seen the one inside?
Oh yeah. That's a new finish. I really liked that. I think it works really well with the curve.
That's nice.
Yeah, everybody likes that one.
So that's going to be a factory option then. Like you won't have to do that after the fact to be included in the cost.
I can confirm nor deny the availability of that one.
Okay.
But for sure it will come in this one at a bare minimum.
Okay.
Whether you have a chance to choose at the time you get the vehicle, I don't know yet.
And with the opening of the doors, so we got the knock to open. And
Nice.
is there going to be any other way to open the door?
Yes, there are several methods.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So we have a
That'd be
security
funny, though.
system that uses an RFID. It's already installed on the Atlas vehicles. It's installed on the bench. We don't have the software released yet, but that system lets you use an RFID like a credit card. Comes also with a fob you can put on your watch, so you could just wave your watch over it and it'll do the same thing. That's probably how most people get into the vehicle. But I don't think we have that RFID reader everywhere. It's only on the driver's side. So even in the back, if you want to get in the back, you would still do the knock to get into the back.
Gotcha.
So it saves us costs. We don't have to
Redesign
and made
it saves them cost.
of that.
Yeah.
It's very cheap for us to put them in other places.
Smart.
But the tier 1 RFID sensor is more expensive, so we only have it in one place.
If, for instance, you're in the snow and ice, because this was one thing that I had wondered a lot about some Tesla products, where they would actually use motors that could push off a small amount of ice so that you can still get into the car. If this is, a snowy morning, everything's covered in ice, could you still knock it? Have you guys tested that?
You're going to stay home and make fondue that day. I think that's what you're going to do. I'm kidding. You can still knock it. And like any vehicle, I mean, I've lived in upstate New York. I've lived in Utah. So I've had to remove snow and ice from my vehicles to get in there. I know what it's like. This vehicle is going to be no different. We haven't done winter testing and validation yet, so I can't tell you how well that part works or if anything we need to change about it. So I don't want to misrepresent that to you. But I'm very aware of the effect that you're talking about. You also have things in the cold, the pressure in the door cylinders is going to be less too, right? Because the temperature is less. So there's other factors that we have to prove out during vehicle validation, and that's what these vehicles are for.
Yes.
The 10 that we're building right now.
We'll move to the rear for the charging port. We have it center mounted, and you guys were one of the first to do NACS, I was told?
Yes. The first, I think. And it was purely for selfish reasons because the plug is so much smaller than the SAE combo. We wanted to do DC fast charging, and to get that plug in the SAE combo, the physical constraints were just too great. We could not fit that plug in the vehicle.
And it's a huge plug.
It's a huge plug, and it would have to be located on the side or the front somewhere, and all of us hated it. And Chris, the co-founder, kept saying, he ordered one from eBay, and he was waving it around saying, look how small this thing is. Why can't we use it? Why can't we use it? Of course, everybody has a reason why you can't use it. Well, we don't own it, or Tesla won't do it. And so the whole idea of the campaign, the crowdfunding to sort of get Tesla to release it to other people and use it, that was all his brainchild.
I'm going to thank him for that, because we're seeing that now in every car.
Yeah,
it feels
just
like
about
these
everybody,
days
yeah.
have switched to NACS because of it. So very cool. We'll check out the trunk here. So what I'm seeing is basically factory. This will be the production car.
That's right. I don't believe there's basically any change on the interior from this part rearward. So it'll all look basically the same. Maybe some of the trim of this and like the Velcro attachment things are going to be different. They'll be die cut, so they won't be, just placed like this, right? They'll be more integrated.
Yeah, will they do some sort of hinge for this, or are we keeping to the...
That's a great question. I don't know if it's supposed to be a living hinge or just an open lid like this. I don't know. Actually, this is quite heavy. This should be much lighter. Register that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why it's so heavy. I do know I wanted to put like a hole and a plug in there to put ice and
I think it's fine without the
didn't.
hinge. It's fine. It's good enough.
That too, because that would be a really good cooler, like the Ridgeline.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like if you brake hard, maybe it would slosh up like a tsunami or something. I don't know.
Right, that's facts.
We haven't tested that yet.
Good
It's
point.
just an idea.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you got to get the cadence. Now, with the door handles, will they change the knock cadence? Because that was one thing I noticed. Sometimes I'm like a little too eager and I just like knock a little too fast and then it doesn't react.
Well, the good news is at this point it's all software. So you could even imagine different knock sequences or something like that.
That's true.
For
You
different
could
means of
you
authentication.
could program your own. You know what I
It's
mean?
all software at that point. Right now we just have a simple knock with the cadence that you did, but it could be almost anything that you could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so currently we are looking at 360 watt. Well, I guess we're kind of maxing
Yeah,
with the,
we are maxing right now.
with the tailgate
a little
open.
bit shaded on the hood. Probably get, I'd say, close to 400 if we pulled forward right there.
Yeah, earlier we had it parked out and it was getting, I think we were talking 330, and that was without the tailgate open. So not too bad. That would equate to, I guess, if you 3.5 miles, 3.25 miles per hour of electric driving. So still enough to cover some commutes, but I do want to talk about that a little bit. Does
That's legit.
that rating change much during the year?
Yes. So when we set 11,000 miles roughly as an intended target of solar miles per year generated by our system, that was taking into account, the lower insolation during the wintertime like now, and the higher insolation in summer. So that number averages out to about 11,000 miles a year. Obviously, if it were summer all year, it would be much larger than that. But it does account for that.
And let's talk about the infotainment a little bit as well.
Let's.
So this is, it embeds most of your controls here. I will say I was playing around with it a little bit, and I like that everything is usually available in one touch. You don't have to dig through a bunch of menus. It's very nice to see. This is the production panel.
The panel itself, yes. So the touch screen, this manufacturer, I think is I don't know that they're making this exact size for us, but they're doing the masking and the touch and everything for us. So this is a production part for us made by Tianma. There's a lot of things on the software here that just aren't written. So, for example, I can't connect my phone yet. They're working on it on the bench. They've got Bluetooth and things like that on the bench, just not on this system. So some things are the software is written, like these little, map lights, for example. They come on. I can unlock the doors, like we talked about. You've got the animation with the vehicle, so it sees the doors are open, sees the trunks open. You close it, and they'll all be closed up here. Of course, the Prindle's here, and then there's a backup set Prindle back here.
Oh, okay. Let me
in
see if
case
I can
there's
get
something wrong with the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you're never stranded. You can still drive the vehicle even if there's a problem with the screen.
Nice.
A lot of the other features, your high beam indicator comes on, seat belts, all those kinds of things. So the UI UX, the design concept has been done, but the implementation, the software behind each one of these features is still being written. We gave clear priority to things though, like air conditioning and heater, just so we
Yes.
could drive it and not cook or freeze.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you guys, when you did the Arizona trip, the range test,
That
did
was
you have
just a road
climate?
trip. So first, I do want to thank you for mentioning that.
Mhm.
So just a couple things. We didn't start out with a full charge. We couldn't get the charger working in the Airbnb that night, so we left with less than a full charge. I mean, significantly left. I think it was maybe around 90, 92 miles, or 92%, sorry, 92, 93%. It was very cold. The garage was 14 degrees C, even with both of our heaters running in there overnight.
Pretty cold,
And
actually.
Our intention was really just to do a road trip, not necessarily do a range test or anything like that. But we did go 322 miles, and we did not have any of this stuff operating in the vehicle.
That's crazy.
And
That's a
we didn't
long.
have
That's a
anywhere
long
near
trip.
the suspension tuning that we have now. So for me personally, it was kind of white knuckle drive compared to this vehicle. But we've made an incredible amount of
No
progress.
suspension. Yeah.
Good to hear. I do want to talk a little bit about safety because this is something that's going to be really foreign to a lot of people. Considered as an auto cycle currently, the safety standards are different. So when it comes to airbags, we got front airbags,
Driver and passenger airbags.
and then when it comes to the side, there is you said it was beams, steel beams in the door. Are they?
Yes, they would be exactly as you would find if you peeled back the door skin on any modern car.
Okay.
So really designed much the same way.
Yes.
But no curtain airbags.
No, not on this vehicle, not on this release. And you know, there's a limit
No,
of
they-
what
yeah, they
we can
can't-
do in
They can't
terms
get.
of
They can't get that in there.
packaging and all of the other constraints that we have. And safety again is a multi-layer thing. You have the
That's
strength
true.
of the chassis, the strength of the vehicle, of course, seat belts, airbags, that kind of thing. But this vehicle will have a driver and passenger front airbag.
Because this is an auto cycle, does anyone of any age need to wear a helmet in any state?
Not to our knowledge. Our marketing team a couple of years ago went through and looked on a state-by-state basis, and we're quite confident. And Chris can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but
There's two states, I think, where if you're under 18, you have to wear a helmet. But
Okay.
we're getting those fixed. But if you're over 18, there's no state at all where you need to wear a helmet or have a different license than just the generic Class C license.
Is there any
Nice.
parking sensors, 360 view camera?
there's not a 360 view. There is an additional camera which is not shown here, but it's the one that's mounted in the back, in the rear lower fin. And that camera is going to display here when you're backing up. So you have this larger, wider view, and this is even the production camera. So the view angle is just not perfect for review. But you'll have a more detailed view here when you're backing up. Right now, for example, for real-time charging, you see just this picture of solar cells, but there's probably going to be more details about the energy flows. So how much energy is being used by whatever system, like thermal versus lighting versus infotainment, how much you're making, how much you're using, all about energy, all that stuff is coming. We just don't have it on this software release yet.
So the dashboard, are you guys working to address some of that glare?
Yeah, what was the incorrect Star Wars reference? Someone said they thought they were on Tatooine where there was like 3 suns. I was like, no, there's 2 suns, not 3.
That's true.
But so we've all experienced the glare. So there's a short-term plan and a long-term plan. Long-term plan is different film designed to reduce that. Short-term plan that works great is polarized sunglasses. So the glare basically goes completely away.
Oh.
So that's what I use when I drive it. But you know, some people have prescription glasses. They don't have polarized clip downs or whatever. So long term, we'll find the right film that mitigates that glare. But for now, I'm not worried about it.
Down the road, you have said that you want to hit, was it 1 million units by 2038? It was something like,
I think Chris mentioned that
Chris
number.
mentioned
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Currently, this factory that we're sitting at in Carlsbad, how many are we looking at to produce a year here?
This building here has been modeled by our production partners to be able to do 10,000 vehicles a year per shift. So it would require 2 shifts
Okay.
to get 20,000 vehicles. Now, we don't
Dang,
intend
that's
to
quite a lot, actually.
produce
honestly.
1 million vehicles from this building. It would have to be a larger or multiple facilities. We've always envisioned the final build process would be something like they call them the industry semi-knockdown kits. So we're assembling the pieces that can be bolted together really anywhere. You know, we won't be doing any welding here or bonding. The bodies will come in, the panels will come in, everything is just bolted together. And that kind of activity can occur in lots of places.
That would work toward a global expansion plan then at some point?
I mean, our travels to Europe and our travels to the Middle East have been public. You know, we've talked about it, and it's been no secret that we have global intention.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. Do you mind if we take a little tour around the factory real quick?
Sure,
Okay.
I don't mind at all.
Chris,
Hey,
nice to meet you. This is the
Chris
media
McCammon.
man for Aptera. He's going to run through a few things here in the factory. So this is the body of
Right.
the vehicle outside.
yeah, this is what the body looks like underneath that wrap. So you can see all the kind of forged carbon fiber pieces. There's really 6 main pieces to our body structure that are bonded together to make it incredibly strong and rigid. So it really kind of comes together like Legos. It's much less complicated than traditional automotive. So yeah,
Nice.
there's a male-female die, 6,000 tons of force, and then you get one of these parts in 5 to 10 minutes.
6,000
very
tons?
repeatable, very, very productionized. So even this massive tub, I think it's like a 10-minute part time to get a whole tub.
And that tub is in here in-house. You don't have to like ship these across or anything.
These are all from our partners at CPC Group out of Italy. They do a lot of these kind of body panels for Lamborghini and Ferrari and other luxury automotive. They
Nice.
stamp the parts and ship them in batches here, and then we bond them together in California. So this is one of 6 modules in our battery pack, which is it's very small. People can't visualize it until you see the modules like this, but I mean, it is basically half the size of a Tesla pack, right? So this is our own unique battery design. It's very energy dense, and it's our own battery management system as well.
Nice,
So you
nice.
see that's the cooling plate for the battery modules, so we can heat and cool them as necessary.
So this is where like liquid will run through.
Yep, yep.
And then solar is right here. This is also not just something that you guys use, you also sell this.
Right, we've delivered units of poly drops, and we have a trial program with Averist, who makes a pushback tractor like
Yeah,
at the airport.
that's
So
cool.
there's a pushback tug that pushes the airplane off the gate. We supply
cool.
cells for that too, panels. So if you want to, feel free to hold it.
Let me put this down.
Nice.
Yeah, it's heavier because it's bonded to the carbon as well. But you can see
You're saying
it's-
heavier? This is like,
it's pretty light, right?
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
The actual glass is very thin. If you like kind of see what part of it is glass, it's a
Nice.
very thin glass that's actually semi-flexible, so it can take impacts without shattering. It doesn't. It's not just
Not
completely
brittle.
rigid, right? Not brittle. So it's
Hand
pretty
this
unique.
back to you.
Nice.
We can make different kinds of panels. So this is actually a polycarbonate panel that's a 1/4 inch thick. So this is actually bullet resistant. Yeah, did you want to come look at some of the earlier vehicles?
Why would you say that?
Awesome. If I sound awkward or something, we can refilm. I'm not
It's
used
okay.
to this.
I get a lot of B-roll, so I avoid my own awkwardness as well.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
This
Yeah.
screen, it looks larger. That's a different
Right.
unit.
Yeah, exactly. So this was kind of one of our earlier prototype vehicles we call Gamma. It's
Yeah.
been all over the world. It was in the UAE. It was in
Yeah, you got the Dubai
Korea.
wrap on
We got the
right
Dubai
now.
wrap on it. But this was before a lot of the production components were selected, so it's more of like the vision for the production vehicle. And
Yeah,
then
for sure.
What you're driving now has a lot of those parts that were selected for to scale up. But you see a lot of good ideas in here that translated into the final vehicle design.
Okay, and then this is the test mule of test mules.
Yes, this thing's been through a lot.
Yeah.
This is Beta. It was our original suspension test vehicle. So this is actually how the vehicles used to be made, but this is a very labor-intensive process. It takes hours and hours to make these hand lay-up composites.
Oh, yeah.
So we were able to find our partners at Mitsubishi Chemical and CPC that can scale this really, really great because we have a lot of orders. Originally, we were like, oh, we're going to ship hundreds, not thousands, but we had 4,000 reservations within the first few weeks. So immediately it changed our thinking on how we're going to make the body.
Nice,
Then this is the first vehicle ever built, Noir. So
Noir.
it's a piece of
black.
history.
Yeah, now this feels
That's
a
nice.
lot like
Give
that,
me
looking
one
at
of
that
them.
looks a
Give me
lot
that
more
black
like
one.
Yes.
that interior.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the
That's
parts
clean.
were
That's clean.
borrowed from Tesla components. You look at the turn stalks and everything.
Oh,
Because this was the
yeah.
first, concept vehicle essentially. So you had to find parts where you could.
Yeah, and those are like Tesla steering wheel controls almost.
Yes, exactly.
This is the largest one?
That is
Yeah,
the
this is the
same.
largest forged carbon fiber SMC piece in the world to our knowledge. And
Ah.
it's kind of the
Nice.
biggest individual part. And you see it's crazy light for a whole.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
weird
yeah.
to look at it, or as you're handling it.
So it just kind of shows we're trying to be very lightweight, very efficient.
In
Carbon
the
fiber.
pursuit of lightness, some things become a lesser priority. For instance, when I reviewed the Aptera pre-production model, the seats were stiff and uncomfortable.
Oh,
so
no.
Chris gave me the opportunity to try out one of their updated chairs.
We'll give this a go.
Give it a go. See if it's better. If we're going in the right direction with it.
Oh, definitely going in the right direction. Yeah, it's not as stiff.
Right.
Um,
Better foam.
I think the ability to adjust and give yourself a little bit more thigh support would be nice, because this is just a slide and a recline.
Right.
So that could be an issue, but I like that the seat bottoms are nice and long. And I think you're starting to get the right softness. There's not really any bolstering, which I guess you're probably not hanging a whole lot of G's in the Aptera, but maybe that would be actually nice, because I feel like a lot of new cars, even when they don't need to, they squeeze you.
So we're building a lot more validation vehicles now.
Yeah.
What you're going to be driving today is one of the first 3 ever built. Whereas now we're really trying to scale up and get some better tooling in place. So a good example of that is the dashboard. You can see this is a tooled dashboard. It has the texture. It's
Not
fully
just-
functional.
Yeah, not just 3D printed.
Right. Yeah.
And even a different steering wheel.
Yeah, it feels nicer, better tolerances and things like that. So this is where we're moving towards as we scale up, going from one-off pieces to manufactured pieces. This is a great example of that.
Nice.
As far
nice.
as the assembly line goes,
Yeah.
is this a final form? Like you're going to drop in parts using a hoist like this?
Yeah, that body with the wire harness, the air handler, all those things comes in as a sub-assembly from that station, and then it gets affixed here, and then now it's one unit that's bonded together and it continues through the line. But yeah, this is the assembly stages that we're validating right now to make sure all these parts are being installed in the right stations so that they go together the quickest and easiest. So.
Okay, so here's the I guess the new drive motor.
Nice,
new,
nice.
Vitesco, it even says it on there. That's cool to see, and the suspension,
Yeah.
which kind of reminds me of the Mustang GTD here with how it's mounted, and it's all we're talking all aluminum. We're really lowering the unsprung weight here, which I love to see. That's gonna help with how it rides as well,
Absolutely.
and a lot of aero covers even on the inside here. Or is this a,
That's how the wheel pants get affixed actually, so they slide on and then they get bolted. But you can see this is where the tunnel is that we saw in that body. This is where all the coolant lines and the high voltage cabling run throughout the vehicle as well.
Nice.
You can see our Aptera battery pack that's fully custom, very energy dense.
And we didn't talk about this yet. There was that all-wheel drive option eventually.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
would that motor be mounted?
We're still in the future wanting to put an in-wheel motor in the back. It'd be probably a
Ooh.
less powerful in-wheel motor, more so for highway cruising. Think of a smaller motor that is very efficient in the highway band. So that's kind of where our thinking is now on the all-wheel drive, and it would give us more torque, but it would be think of a very small, low-power motor in the rear.
Yeah.
Not a super beefy hub motor that you've seen in the past.
And if we're doing like a larger pack option,
Yeah.
where do you put the extra battery?
Yeah, well, there's actually some packaging room to add a couple more cells in this existing footprint. A lot of what we want to do is expand the height of the battery pack, so we can double stack the cells, change just the bottom piece slightly, and we can fit double the size really easily.
Yes.
So is that going to change like the shell then?
Just the bottom a little bit.
Just the bottom a little bit, so it would. Okay, now I kind of see why.
Some
that's,
little rework.
Yeah. So that's a later date thing.
Right. Yeah. For now, this is great, and we can easily just do a 250, just take out half the modules. Right.
Okay.
This is a low volume assembly jig that we have. So the really neat thing about this jig is it really lets you bond these panels repeatably and reliably.
Yes.
So as an example, once you bond, once you have the glue on this fiberglass piece, lock it in place like this, then it can set here with the glue, and each build will come out basically the same. So it's really great for scale manufacturing. All of these different pieces of the jig lock in all these different components. So it's pretty cool. We've built all of them right now for the next batch of vehicles, but this thing is swinging when we're building more.
Yeah, build 10 Atlas.
Build
There it
10.
is. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there's kind of two separate lines that combine. There's the line for the chassis, then there's a line for the body, then they get mated together, and then they finish out with all the interior trim and everything. So this is build 1 of the Atlas vehicles, the next validation vehicles. It's a very simple vehicle. If you look at it ostensively, it's very simple to put together, but documenting how to assemble it perfectly is what we're doing right now, so we can scale up over time.
It's such a process, but it's good to see that you guys are putting in the work. And I'm really looking forward to those updates. Please do not stop doing the updates.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll get to see the behind the scenes. This will be the finished Atlas 1, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
I guess go to the Aptera YouTube and check it out.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This has been awesome.
No problem. Thanks.
Since its relaunch in 2019, I've believed in Aptera's mission, but the delays have made me doubt that the vehicle would ever reach the finish line. That's why I reached out to the company with the hopes to drive the car myself and ask a ton of questions. I wanted to know, could this be a reality? Can someone drive one daily? You can check out my review for all the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses. But despite the flaws, I left California with hope. There are too many variables for me to say whether or not I think they will ship a vehicle before the new year. But after seeing their progress, the conversations that I had with the team, and driving the vehicle, it felt possible, and that's a step in the right direction. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my subscribers for helping make an opportunity like this possible, and thank you to my channel members for helping me improve my videos. Consider joining for additional content, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, let's go. So before I get started, shout out Tyler Parker, shout out Steve Fambro. Great interview. He asked a lot of great questions. Like I said in the beginning, well-spoken, obviously knowledgeable, interested in cars. Steve Fambro holding it down as a CEO, answered the questions. Great interview. So how did I feel about this interview? It was good. It was good. This is a lot more of the Aptera than I've seen. I've done like my research on it, but it was good to see inside the factory, see how they build it, the bonding, the batteries, the solar panels, the parts. It was cool to see all that. And I've thought the car has looked great since I was first exposed to it, so I still think it looks good. So the big question, the big takeaway from this interview, will this vehicle be ready by the end of 2026? This year of our Lord. This year. I don't know. And I really, from what I've seen, I believe in this company, and obviously I like this product. I've said before, it's like a dream car product and also a dream engineering product in general. But I don't quite think it'll be ready by the end of 2026. I don't think it'll be ready. But do I hope I'm wrong? Of course. I hope I'm very wrong. I hope this vehicle comes out before the end of 2026. The summer. That'd be great, right? But based on what I've seen just in this 40-minute exposure to this vehicle in the factory, I don't think it'll be ready by the end of 2026. Why am I saying that? There's just a lot of questions as far as where the vehicle is at this exact moment. Like when he brought up the ice testing for the knock, can it bust through ice? I'm not even like a winter weather person. I'm from Texas. I like, the summer, I like the heat. So I'm not going to be driving around in the ice. But the fact that the CEO said that hasn't even been tested yet, like the fact that the doors, will they open in icy conditions, hasn't even been tested. I was like, okay, so they still got a little ways to go. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that, but I get it. And another signal to me was when they were doing the in-car software, he was like, this isn't even like the fully programmed software. You can't connect this to, at this moment in time, you can't connect this to your phone. Okay, so the software's not done. It's not complete. A car that's shipping by the end of this year, like not it's in the dealership in December. You can go buy it and drive it on the road in December. Like you can actually drive it by the end of this year. everything would be taken care of at this point. You'd be concerned about just getting it to the dealership, the logistics of like stocking it, what the display will look like in the dealership, or if you're selling it yourself, like the actual like design of the storefront, like, you know, what's it going to look like when you go in there? Not is the software for the in-drive experience complete. So yeah, I don't, you know, I don't think it's done yet. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's ready by the end of 2026. Oh, and another signal for me was when they're still working on the validation vehicles. I think they need like 10 or something like that, and they've got 3 complete. But the CEO, Steve, said they have milestones to get to in order to achieve like final validation. Like, you know, what are these milestones? Like, it's just these questions. So yeah. Man, I love this thing, man. I can just imagine being on the road, you know, off-roading. You got the 400-mile range. You've got the, you know, the drive, he said it was like 322 miles, not even on a full charge in like an earlier version of the vehicle. This vehicle has strength. It has power, and I like that. I like that a lot. You can tell you can get somewhere with this, but will it be ready by the end of 2026? I doubt it. I don't, but I hope I'm wrong. Other takeaways from the interview. Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of great technology in here. It's got light construction. You've got the panels. You've got, you know, the body itself, carbon fiber. I think you said aluminum in there or steel, but, you know, a light metal in there. A lot has gone into making this vehicle light and, you know, pretty technologically advanced by all accounts. So I'm excited for it. And that's really my main takeaway. That's my main takeaway from this interview. You know, I was familiar with the technology, and I've been exposed a bit more to the insides as far as the factory, how it's built, what's going in to make it, the interior of the vehicle, literally just what it is. Again, shout out Tyler Parker, great interview skills. He has some good questions. He has a great attitude, obviously interested in vehicles. Shout out Steve for even getting on camera and doing this interview, because you know people want to know about this vehicle. So shout out to Steve Fambro and holding it down in the company, I'm sure, and the whole staff. I know they're doing their best. So yeah, this was really good to watch. On the day when it does come out, I've already said that in a previous video, I will be getting one, and it just looks good. It looks like this is something we need at this point in time. We really do need a product like this. So yeah, that's my main takeaway. I'm still in love with it. It looks great. The day when it comes out, I will get one, but I don't, in my personal opinion, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think it'll be ready by the end of 2026. But, you know, again, hopefully it comes out and, you know, we do get to drive it by December 2026. Okay, and that's it. Trevor David Climate back up at it. You know, I'm always making these videos because climate change is not for the play. It's not a joke. It's very real. And numerous things have got me hopeful that we're like, that we're fighting against it. You got the methane tamer, which is out there, which can, you know, it stops the methane from cows. Revolutionary product, bro. Now that's not for the play. I've read reports that as California continues to adopt more EVs, the air quality is improving. Like there's a measurable change in the air quality. Do you know how awesome that is? That's amazing. Again, when it comes to climate change, we need to lower the overall temperature of the globe. That's the goal. Like, so there are a lot of ancillary things that go along with cleaning up the planet, which I believe in, which needs to happen. But when it comes to climate change, the main thing is to get the greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere, which the planet can actually do by itself if we just stop pumping them in there. The planet can clean itself, but we stop pumping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere and lower the temperature of the globe. That's the actual goal of stopping climate change. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are very hopeful that I'm reading. So I think we're on the right path. We need to move fast though. But products like this give me hope. I'm very excited for it. It looks great. Hey, drop that all black one. I see y'all have the slightly different silver color. Drop that all black one. I need that. I need that all black one. So yeah, until I see y'all again, which will be soon. I'm always making these videos. We got to get this climate change thing moving the other direction and really just have a brighter future as far as like how we interact with the planet. Like I said, I believe in my first video. Do you have a spare planet in your back pocket? Do you have one? I don't. I know you don't. We ain't got that. So we got to take care of the one we got. And that's what we got to do going into the future. So until I see y'all again, hold it down. We're on the right path. Buy electric. Peace.